Readyville Dam is a low-head dam that was originally in the late 1800s that was used to power the mill there in Readyville for, I believe it was a grist mill for a low-head dam. Removing of the dam will help stabilize about 1,000 feet of a private landowner's property that's currently being lost as a result of the breach in the dam that occurred in the 1980s.
So in general, dams, specifically low-head dams like the one at Readyville, when they're built, they create impoundments upstream of the dam, and in many cases these impoundments can warm much faster than the flowing portion of the stream. Also, the dissolved oxygen in the water, because of that warming, can lower so that fish and other aquatic wildlife can't live in that impoundment. And when water and sediment and organic matter flow over that dam or around that dam, it actually leads to poor water quality downstream of that dam because of that impounded water. Upstream of these dams and these impoundments, organic matter is being washed from the watershed and is being trapped by the dam. So are the pollutants that we apply to the landscape. These could be pesticides or heavy metals from industry. And when there's a breach in a dam like the one at Readyville, those pesticides, that organic matter, suddenly becomes flushed downstream. And if there's too much of that coming downstream of the dam due to a breach or a flooding event, it can be bad for aquatic wildlife. The pesticides can end up killing the aquatic life in the stream. The organic matter decays, which can take out a lot of the oxygen downstream of the dam and make it poor water quality for the life in the stream. So one of the biggest impacts of dams is just their ability to be a roadblock to migrating animals like fishes and salamanders. In particular, in the East Fork Stones River, you have 3 really unique species like the small-scale darter, a red band darter, and the bedrock shiner. And each of these species actually serve as hosts for larval glochidia of our freshwater mussels. There are certain mussels in this river that require those species that like clean water, good flowing rivers, unimpounded rivers, and if those fish can't migrate upstream, they can't also carry the mussels with them. Likewise, a lot of these fishes need to migrate upstream to be able to spawn, to lay their eggs and provide to the next generation. If they can't have access to those upstream areas, then those populations decline, and then we can lose those species from our rivers.
Before you could actually remove the dam, there's a multi-step process. The first is working with the private landowners, in this case, that own the property on each side of the dam. Also, you have to get a series of permits from the federal and state government. That takes time. In order to get those permits, you have to have a design plan, which is reviewed and approved by both the state and the federal government before you can actually remove the dam. And that process could take upwards of 18 months to 2 years. Removing Readyville Dam will have several different important functions, the first of which will improve aquatic habitat for a lot of rare fish and mussels that occur in East Fork Stones River. It'll also improve the flood function of that particular section of East Fork Stones River. And it'll also provide a lot more safety to those that recreate on East Fork Stones River by making it a safer passage to get through for canoers and paddlers alike and fishermen.